Haribol, Haribol.
Very nice.
Jai Shri Guru Gaur Chandraju Ki Jai Shri Raj Govardhanju Ki Jai Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pariprajaka Statera Satyashri Sriman Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pariprajaka Astatera Satyashri Sriman Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Welcome to Sri Caitanya SCSMission morning class. Dandavat. Jai Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jata Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Stam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Vadevam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitangscha Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam. I continue to read and worship Sri Caitanya Charitamrta. We're on text 185 of the 25th chapter of Madhya Lila in the 5th volume. Jai Jai Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhaktivinoda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhaktivinoda Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Ki Jai Jai Srila Om Vishnupad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. And this is text 185. Now, of course, we're hearing about the instruction Mahaprabhu is given to Sanatana Goswami. Mahaprabhu has left Varanasi and he's going through the Jarikhanda forest by himself and telling the other devotees, you go to Puri whenever you like, you can come and see me, but I want to go now by myself. And he instructed Sanatana Goswami, go to Vrindavan and take care of the devotees. They're always very poor. Sometimes they only have some blanket or some quilt with them, some water pot, but you please care for them. And the devotees, seeing Mahaprabhu leaving, they all fainted in grief. And Katakshani utishabe duke gare aila Sanatana Gosai Vrindavanera Chalila. After some time, all the devotees got up and returned to their homes, very much grief-stricken. Sanatana Goswami proceeded toward Vrindavan alone. Eta Rupa Gosai Chabe Mathuraila Dhruva Gate Taresh Subudhiraya Malila. When Rupa Goswami reached Mathura, he met Subudhi Rai on the banks of the Jamuna at a place called Dhruvagat. Now Rupa Goswami has already been instructed by Mahaprabhu, given the instructions at Dasa Ashrameta Ghat, and now he has also gone to Vrindavan. And when he reached Mathura, he met Subudhi Rai on the banks of the Jamuna at a place called Dhruvagat. Purve Jabi Subudhi Rai. Is this coming into the kitchen?
Yeah.
Ah. Maybe if I go like that. There you go. Purve Jabi Subudhi Rai Chila Gaude Adhikari Hussain Khan Sayyadakari Tahara Chakari. Formerly, Subudhi Rai had been a big landowner in Gaudadesh, Bengal. Sayyada Hussain Khan was then a servant of Subudhi Rai. So Rupa Goswami has met this personality, Subudhi Rai, upon reaching Mathura, and it's telling Subudhi Rai was a big landowner, meaning he was very wealthy, and he had a servant named Sayyada Hussain Khan. Digi kotai de tare, munchi palakaila, chidra panyarai tare, chabuka marila. Subudhi Rai put Hussain Khan in charge of digging a big lake. But once, finding fault with him, he struck him with a whip. Pache jabe Hussain Khan gauri raja haila, Subudhi Rai ratinho bahu badaila. Later, Hussain Khan somehow or other was appointed Nawab by the central Muslim government. As a matter of obligation, he increased the opulences of Subudhi Rai. Because he had been his servant, so now having become the Nawab, he did some good to Subudhi Rai. Tara Stri, Tara Ange Deke Mara Nera Chine, Subudhi Rai era Marite, Kahe Rajasthane. Later, the wife of Nawab Sayyada Hussain Khan saw the whip marks on his body. She requested him to kill Subudhi Rai. She saw, seeing that he had been hit by a whip, she said, "Oh, you should kill that man. Now you're a powerful guy. You can kill him." Rajagahe amara postarai haya pita, tahare marimu ami bala nahe kata. Hussain Khan replied, "Subudhi Rai has maintained me very carefully. He was just like a father to me," he said. "Now you are asking me to kill him. This is not a very good proposal." Strikahe jatil laha jadi prane na maribe, rajakahe jati nile iho nahi jibe. At a last alternative, the wife suggested that the Nawab take away Subudhi Rai's caste and turn him into a Muslim. But Hussain Khan replied that if he did this, Subudhi Rai would not live. Srimati te chahe raja shankate padila, karon yara pani tara muke deo yaila. This became a perplexing problem for him because his wife kept requesting him to kill Subudhi Rai. Finally, the Nawab sprinkled a little water on Subudhi Rai's head from a pitcher that had been used by a Muslim. So these were strictures within the caste system. And so anyway, we'll continue. 500 years ago in India, the Hindus were so rigid and strict that if a Muslim would sprinkle a little water from his pitcher upon a Hindu, the Hindu would be immediately ostracized. He would be thrown out of Hindu society if some glass of water or a pitcher of water, some water came to the head of a Hindu, he was like, "You're not a Hindu anymore." Recently, in 1947, during the partition days, there was a big riot between Hindus and Muslims, especially in Bengal. The Hindus were forcibly made to eat cow's flesh, and consequently they began crying, thinking that they had become Muslims. Actually, the Muslims in India did not come from the country of the Muslims, but Hindus instituted the custom that somehow or other, if one contacted a Muslim, he became a Muslim. This was just a made-up rule. It's not like it's not anything significant, but they believed it. Rupa and Sanatana Goswami were born in a high Brahmin family, but because they accepted employment under a Muslim government, they were considered Muslims. Subudhi Rai was sprinkled with water from the pitcher of a Muslim, and consequently he was condemned to have become a Muslim. Later, Aurangzeb, the Muslim emperor, introduced a tax especially meant for Hindus. Being oppressed in the Hindu community, many low-class Hindus preferred to become Muslims. In this way, the Muslim population increased. Later, the British government made it a policy to divide the Hindus and Muslims, and thus they maintained ill feelings between them. The result was that India was divided into Pakistan and Hindustan. From early histories, it appears that the entire world was under one culture, Vedic culture, but gradually, due to religious and cultural divisions, the rule fragmented into many subdivisions. Now this earth is divided into many countries, religions, and political parties. And despite these political and religious divisions, we advocate that everyone should unite again in one culture, Krishna consciousness. And Mahaprabhu will show here how this is a fact. And all these different rules and regulations don't apply anymore to anything, because the overarching fact is that we are all souls and naturally devotees of Krishna, and Krishna wants us to be devotees of him consciously. People should accept one God, Krishna, one scripture, the Bhagavad Gita, and one activity, devotional service to the Lord. And this includes everything. Thus people may live happily in this earth and combine to produce sufficient food. In a society, there will be no question of scarcity, famine, or cultural or religious degradation. So-called caste systems and national divisions are artificial. According to our Vaishnava philosophy, these are all external bodily designations. The Krishna consciousness movement is not based on bodily designations. And Krishna says this clearly in Gita. It doesn't matter who you are. If you serve me, then you're perfect. It doesn't matter at all what kind of family you come from, anything, nothing. If the people of the world understood that the basic principle of life is spiritual identification, they would understand that the business of the spirit soul is to serve the Supreme Spirit, Krishna. As Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mai vangsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. All living entities in different forms of life are sons of Krishna. So this is very good. Tabesh buddhirai se chadma panya varanasi aila shababishaya chadiya. Taking the Nawab sprinkling water upon him as an opportunity, Subudhi Rai left his family and business affairs and went to Varanasi. He thought, oh. It appears that Subudhi Rai was a big landowner and a responsible, respectable gentleman. He could not, however, avoid the social misconception that one becomes a Muslim when water is sprinkled on one's face from a Muslim pitcher. Actually, he was planning to give up his material life and leave his family. Hindu culture recommends 4 divisions: the brahmachari, the grihastha, the vanaprastha, and the sannyas. Subudhi Rai was thinking of taking sannyas, and by the grace of Krishna, he received this opportunity. So he's thinking, well, I should leave my family now that I'm by some mundane concocted standard, I've become a Muslim. And then he's thinking, oh, good. I wanted to do this anyway. He therefore left his family and went to Varanasi. Prayaschita puchila tiho pandit eragane tarakahe tapta griha kanya charitamrta. When Subudhi Rai consulted the learned Brahmins at Varanasi, they asked him how his conversion to Islam could be counteracted. He asked them. And they advised him to drink hot ghee and give up his life. Keha kahe e nahe apadoshahai, shunya rahila rai kariya sangshai. When Subhuti Rai consulted some other Brahmins, they told him that he had not committed grievous fault, and that consequently he should not drink hot ghee and give up his life. As a result, Subhuti Rai was doubtful about what to do. So some were saying this and some were saying that. This is another instance of Hindu custom. One Brahmin would give advice condoning a particular fault, and others would give advice to the contrary. So he is feeling perplexed. Tabe jari Mahaprabhu Varanasi aila, Tare mili rai apana vritanta kahila. In his state of perplexity, Subhuti Rai met Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu when the Lord was at Varanasi. Subhuti Rai explained his position and asked Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu what he should do. Prabhu kahe iha haite jara Vrindavana, nirantara kara Krishna nama sankirtana. The Lord advised him, go to Vrindavan and chant the Hare Krishna mantra constantly. This is a solution to all sinful activities. In this age of Kali, everyone is perplexed by so many inconveniences, social, political, and religious, and naturally no one is happy due to the contamination of this age. Everyone has a very short life. There are many fools and rascals who advise people to adopt this way of life or that way of life, but real liberation from one's life's perplexities means preparation for the next life. Tata dehantara praptir dhiras tatra namuhyati. One should be situated in his spiritual identity. That's the real solution. You're not going to be able to solve the material world. It's not a solvable problem. But we need to leave and bring as many people from that mundane consciousness as we can, while we are also trying to make progress. We should constantly chant the holy names of the Lord, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, following the footsteps of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. The Krishna consciousness movement is recommending this process all over the world. We are saying, chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, be free from all the complexities of life, and realize Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Engage in his devotional service and perfect your life so that you can return back home, back to Godhead. Ekanama bashe tomara papa dosha jabe, aranama laite Krishna charana paibe. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu further advised Subhuti Rai, begin chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, and when your chanting is almost pure, all your sinful reactions will go away. After you chant perfectly, you will get the shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. And of course, we're practicing chanting offenselessly. And also, with Mahaprabhu's supreme instruction, Trinadapi Sunichena, Guru Maharaj said, only by the culture of divine sound, you can leave every level of illusion. But that must be done in a particular, we must come to a different atmosphere in our consciousness. And that is done through humility. Guru Maharaj said, you must seek any kind of service. Don't try to be important. Don't think that this is going to be misconstrued by the higher personalities as being your lack of qualification. So you must come to this humility and giving honor and being tolerant. You must practice this and come to a higher atmosphere of your consciousness. Then your chanting will be actually pure. So both things have to be there. Ada Krishna Nama Laite Krishna Stani Stiti Mahapata Kerahai Prayaschiti. When you are situated at the lotus feet of Krishna, no sinful reaction can touch you. This is the best solution to all sinful activity. So this is what we are advising everyone. We may do something wrong, but we must go on practicing our spiritual life. This is the real prayaschitta. This is the atonement for every fault. Panya agya raya vrindavanera chalila prayaga ayojadiya naima sharanyaila. Thus, receiving this order from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to go to Vrindavan, Subhuti Rai left Varanasi and went through Prayag, Ayodhya, and Naimisharanya toward Vrindavan. Oh, I thought he met him at Mathura. Oh, this is previously. So it's saying that when Mahaprabhu went through the Jarikhanda forest and came to Mathura, he met Subhuti Rai there. But this is the history of the. So this is it seems to me that they met before in Varanasi, and Mahaprabhu advised him to go to Vrindavan. Kataka divasharai nama sharanye rahila Prabhu Vrindavana haite prayaga jahila. Subhuti Rai stayed for some time at Naimisharanya. During that time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Prayag after visiting Vrindavan. Mathura Ashiyarai Prabhu Vartapaila Prabhura Lagana Panyamani Baddha Dukahaila. After reaching Mathura, Subhuti Rai received information of the Lord's itinerary. He became very unhappy because he was not able to contact the Lord. Shushkakashta anirai veche maturate panchachai paishahaya eka bojate. Subhuti Rai would collect dry wood in the forest to take to the city of Mathura to sell. For each load he would receive 5 or 7 paisa. Paisa is a tremendously small amount of money. So this person who had been a landowner, he now was in a situation living in Mathura and going out and collecting firewood and selling it for very little bit of money. Apane rahi eka paisha rachanya chabaiya ara paisha banya stane rakena dariya. Earning his livelihood by selling dry wood, Subhuti Rai would live on only 1 paisa's worth of fried chickpeas, and he would deposit whatever other paisa he had with some merchant. And there was no banking system in those days, so if one had a little bit more money than he required, he would deposit that with a grocer or some kind of merchant, and that was the banking system. So he was very renounced, because he was living only on fried chickpeas. He could have bought something else because he had enough, but he would only spend, of 5 paisa, he would only spend 4, and he would put the other aside. So this is a good example for us also, to be careful with some money to put aside. But so for emergencies and for emergencies, like for service. These are the dealings of Subhuti Rai, who is one of the confidential devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Rupa Goswami also followed this principle by spending 50% of his money in order to serve Krishna through the Brahmins and Vaishnavas. He gave 25% of his money to his relatives, and 25% he deposited in the custody of a merchant. And these are all approved methods recommended in the Caitanya Charitamrta. Whether in the renounced order or in the Grihastha order, a Vaishnava should follow these principles set forth by the previous acharyas. Duki Vaishnava deki tare karana bojana Gaudiya aile dadi bata tarila mardana. Subhuti Rai used to spend his savings to supply yogurt to the Bengali Vaishnavas who came to Mathura. He also gave them cooked rice and oil massages. And when he saw a poverty-stricken Vaishnava, he would use his money to feed him. So Jai Subhuti Rai setting such an example. 5 paisa a day. Right now that would be it's such an incredibly small amount of money. It would be like 5 cents or something like that. But 4 of those he would use in the service of the Vaishnavas, and then he personally was eating only a little bit of fried chickpeas. These are very inspiring examples. There is a special reference for the maintenance of Bengali Vaishnavas. A Gaudiya Vaishnava is a Bengali Vaishnava. Most of the devotees of Lord Chaitanya at that time were Gaudiyas and Odiyas, inhabitants of Bengal or Orissa. There are still many hundreds of thousands of his followers in Bengal and Orissa. Bengalis are habituated to eating cooked rice as their staple food. When they went to Mathura in the north, they found that people generally ate chapatis or rotis made of wheat. The Bengalis could not digest this food because they were used to cooked rice. Therefore, as soon as Subhuti Rai saw a Bengali Vaishnava arriving in Mathura, he would try to supply him with cooked rice. Bengalis are also accustomed to taking a massage with mustard oil. In any case, Subhuti Rai wanted to serve the Vaishnavas according to their needs. He therefore would supply yogurt to ease the digestion of food eaten in Mathura, particularly the chapatis and rotis made from wheat. Because Bengal is is not a northern country, and rice is the natural food. It's cooling. Rice is a cooling food, and chapatis are more heating. Rupa Goswami aile tare bahu priti kaila apana sangelanya dvadasha vanade kaila. When Rupa Goswami arrived at Mathura, Subhuti Rai, out of love and affection for him, wanted to serve him in so many ways. He personally took Rupa Goswami to see the 12 forests of Vrindavan. So Mathura is the general area in which Vrindavan is situated. So from Mathura to Vrindavan, this is a daily thing for some people. So it's not far. And when Rupa Goswami arrived in Mathura, Subhuti Rai tried to serve him in so many ways. And he also took him around Vrindavan to the 12 forests of Vrindavan. Srila Rupa Goswami had been a minister in the government of Hussain Shah. And Subhuti Rai was also known to Hussain Shah because as a boy, the Shah had been Subhuti Rai's servant. So that Shah became the servant who sprinkled his head. It appears that Subhuti Rai was elderly, yet while he was living in Mathura, he showed Rupa Goswami the 12 forests of Vrindavan. Masamata Rupa Gosai Rahila Vrindavane Shigrachali Aila Sanatanu Shandane. Rupa Goswami remained in Mathura and Vrindavan for 1 month in the association of Subhuti Rai. After that, he left Vrindavan to search for his elder brother Sanatan Goswami. Gangatira Pate Prabhu Prayagere Aila Tarashuni Duibai Sepate Chalila. When Rupa Goswami heard that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had gone to Prayag on the road along the banks of the Ganges, Rupa and his brother Anupama went that way to meet the Lord. Atta Sanatana Gosai Prayage Ashiya Mathura Aila Sharana Rajapatadiya. After reaching Prayag, Sanatan Goswami, following the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, went to Vrindavan along the public road. This is especially significant because when Sanatan Goswami went from Bengal to Benares, due to the political situation, he did not go on the public road. After meeting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Benares or Varanasi, however, he was ordered to proceed to Vrindavan along the public road leading to Mathura. In other words, he was advised not to fear for his political situation. Ooh, this is really lovely. I'm going to have to stop here, though. So we're finding out how these great personalities met each other in different times and in different places. So now Sanatana Goswami is going to Vrindavan. Rupa and Anupama are searching for him. Subhuti Rai is there in Mathura. And we'll see what happens. Jai Shri Caitanya Charitamrta ki Jai. Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj ki Jai. Jai Srila Om Vishnupad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Do you have your printout there?
No, it's down below.
Oh, okay. So we'll just chant these Upadesamrita verses.
All of them again?
Yeah, I think every morning we should chant all of them. That's my feeling.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea too.
And then go to the one that we're discussing particularly.
Okay. Which one are we discussing right now?
And I think we're on number 3 now. Ready?
Ready.
Vacho vegam manasakroda vegam jiva vegam udara pasta vegam etan veganyo vishahe tatira sarvam apimam pritivim sasisyat. The urge of speech, the urges of the mind and anger, the urge of the tongue, the urges of the belly and the genitals. A perseverant person who can control all these urges can instruct the entire world. Achahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangas chaloyam cha sabhir bhaktir vinashati. Overaccumulation, over-endeavor, unnecessary talk, misapplication of rules, association with non-devotees, and fickleness. Bhakti is destroyed by these 6 faults.
Didi, could you please give an example that most devotees that you've met done for misapplication of rules? Like you said.
Well, anyone can become fanatical about, well, you see, the thing is, the rules have some purpose, right? But if we think that the rules are in themselves the purpose, then we are mistaken. They have some purpose. We have some instruction about these things, especially cleanliness. Very important in deity worship. And so many things, they have a purpose. But the purpose finally is surrender and love of God. So we don't want to ignore the rules out of whimsicalness and just think, oh, that's not important, and that's not actually true. And we don't want to become so attached to them that we can't make progress. Because when Srila Guru Maharaj said what is necessary at one stage will be not only unnecessary on another stage, but will be not good. So these are fine points of different, there are different, that's going to come up in different ways. Right?
Thank you.
Utsaha nishchaya dhairya tat karma pravartana shangatyagat sato vritte sadbir bhakti prasiddhiti. Enthusiasm, conviction, perseverance, engaging in favorable activities, giving up bad association, and following the conduct of the sadhus. Bhakti is nourished by these 6 qualities. Conviction, perseverance,
engaging
in favorable activities, giving up bad association, and following the conduct of the sadhus. Dadati pratigratnati guhyam akyati prichiti Bhute bojayate chaiva sadvidam kriti lakshanam. Then this verse, number 4, is about the exchange of affection between devotees. Giving and accepting gifts. Discussing and inquiring about confidential matters, meaning in relation to our progress and siddhanta. And giving and partaking of foods, giving and receiving, prashadam, are the 6 characteristics of affection. Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta dikshasti chet pranati bischa bhajantamisham shishushaya bhajana vigyam ananyamanya nindari shunya hridam ipsita shangalabhya. Honor within the mind those who chant Krishna's name in any kind of general way, but honor with obeisance those who are initiated and serve the Lord, and honor with service those who are expert in bhajan, exclusive and at heart free from criticizing others, knowing them to be the most desirable association. Tishte svabhava janite vapushascha doshe na prakritatvam miha bhakta janasya pashyet Gangam vasangna kalu budbudapena panke brahmadravatvam apagachati niradharmai. Do not consider the devotees in this world to be mundane, as a result of observing faults produced by their nature or in their body. The water of the Ganges never loses its nature as liquid spirit because of bubbles or foam or mud, all of which are natural characteristics of water. Syat Krishna nama charitari sitapya vidya pitopatapta rasanasya narochikanu kinvadarad anudinam kalu saiva justa swadvikramad bhavati tad gadamulahantri. The sugar candy of Krishna's names, pastimes, and so forth is not relishable to a tongue severely afflicted by the jaundice of ignorance. Alas! Certainly, however, when it is daily honored with faith, this candy gradually becomes sweet and eradicates the disease. Tannama rupa charitari sukirtananu smrityo kramena rasana manasi niyojya tishtan vrajeta anuragi jananugami kalam nayeda kilam ityupadesha sharam. Engage the tongue and mind in the gradual process of complete glorification and constant remembrance of Krishna's names, forms, pastimes, and so forth. Reside in Braja and spend all your time as a follower of those who have deep attachment to Krishna. This is the essence of all instruction. So this is what we're doing with our time and gradually coming to living in Vrindavan. Vaikuntaj janito bara madhupuri tatrapi rasotsavad Vrindaranya mudarapani ramana tatrapi govardhana Radha kundamihapi gokulapate premamrita plavanat Kuryadasya virajito giritate sevam vivekinakaha. Sorry, I couldn't slow down with that. I wasn't thinking. Higher than Vaikunta is Mathura, where Krishna took his birth. Higher therein is Vrindavan, where Krishna enjoys the rasa dance. Higher therein is Govardhan, where Krishna plays amorously, and higher than Govardhan is Radha Kunda, where the nectar of Krishna's prema overflows. Would any wise soul not serve Radha Kund at the base of Govardhan Hill. Haribol. Now that is the gradation of the Dhams, and now gradations of those who are practicing spiritual life. Jnanis are known to be more dear in all respects to Krishna than are the karmis. Devotees free from Jnana, those devotees who have gone beyond the plane of Jnana, are more dear than the Jnanis. And devotees fixed exclusively in prema are higher than the devotees who are merely free from Jnana and have not proceeded to the plane of prema. Among those are the Vrajagopis, and they are more dear than those who have prema. Of course, they also have prema, but among them, they are more dear to Krishna. And among those lotus-eyed Vrajagopis, Sri Radhika is supreme. She is most dear to Krishna, and the lake of hers is similarly dear to Krishna. Would any fortunate soul not take shelter there? Krishnasyo chai pranaya vasti prayasibhyo piradha kundam chasya munipirabhita stadrikeva vyadai ya preshte apyalam asulabang kim punar bhakti bhajang tat premedang sakridapi sharasnatura vishkaroti. Sri Radha is the highest object of Krishna's love, above all his other lovers. In all respects, her lake has also been established as such by the sages. This lake bestows upon those who bathe within it only once prema that is extremely difficult to attain, even for those who are dear to Krishna, let alone for practitioners of bhakti. So even for those who are inhabitants of Vrindavan eternally, that kind of position is very difficult to attain. What to speak of those who are simply practicing devotional life. Hare Krishna. So we are, here we are giving some warning also. That it's not like anyone who's materially or physically living in Radha Kund doesn't mean that they're in that position in a divine sense. Or that if we go and live there physically, suddenly we're residents of Radha Kund. So we're actually just finishing this little part, commentary, the last part of the commentary by Srila Guru Maharaj on the second chapter, the second verse. So I'll just read this last little bit, and then we'll go to the third verse. Jana Sangha means to aso atyahara prayasascha prajapo niyamagraha Jana Sangha chalolyam cha sadhya bhakti vinashati. So Jana Sangha means to like the company of the ordinary public, to be very eager to have the company of any man without consideration of whether we should mix with him or not. Just anybody. If anyone comes up to us, we begin talking and giving association to him, but we should have eagerness to mix with the sadhus of the higher class. We're always looking for higher and inspiring association. Instead of that, if we allow ourselves to mix with the ordinary public in the name of preaching or collecting or any other thing, that will be detrimental to our cause. Janasangha means to be very approachable to the public for politics, social work, feeding the poor, and this and that. So many conceptions of the ideal are all around us, and to allow ourselves to be chased, captivated, or captured by them is Janasangha. Lolya means softness of mind. That's different than softness of heart. Softness means there's no structure, no strength. Of mind. Whatever we come across, we want to note that. Everything is, very important. When we go to the market, we find so many things, hundreds of things, and we feel as though anything and everything is coming to capture our attention. Whatever we find, we engage ourselves in that. Whatever proposal comes, we accept without consideration. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gaur Chandra Giri Aju Ki Jai. This is lolya, a weakness of the heart, a weakness of our promise and our objective of life. Lolya has another meaning also, that of softness toward the truth, amenability and humility, but these are different. So lolyam also is a quality of a devotee, but that's going toward the other side. That means hankering for the higher at all costs. But this lolyam is hankering for the lower. Tatra lolyam ekalam mulam, our eagerness is the only price to attain divine love. Here in the Upadesamrita, lolya means that we have some weakness within ourselves for whatever is present before us, easily distracted. Without consideration, we accept anything and everything. This sort of attitude is called lolya. Whatever comes, we participate in that without considering whether it will be beneficial or injurious. You want to go here? Sure, I'll go there, blah, blah, do all this nonsense thing. Some things we can go and do because they are very wholesome things. You can go and do some wholesome activities, especially walking and things like that. But not every proposal, we just jump at it. Whatever comes, we participate in that without considering whether it will be beneficial or injurious. We take no time to think properly about that. It is called lolya. We must save ourselves from these natures. These 6 are detrimental to devotion proper. And that ends the commentary on the second verse from Srila Guru Maharaj. Now coming to the third verse. Utsaha nishaya daryat tat karma pravartanat sangatyagat sato vritte sadbir bhakti prasidyati. Like binash, nash. Jaha hoite bigna nash. All obstacles to devotion are destroyed by offering obeisances to these 6 Goswamis. So binashati, these destroy. Bhakti binash means destroy devotion. And this is prasidyati, and it reminds me of the word proceed. So it helps us, these are very favorable. Bhakti is nourished by these 6 qualities: enthusiasm, conviction, perseverance, engaging in favorable activities, giving up bad association, following the conduct of the Mahajans. So when we find ourselves becoming a little bit tantalized by...
What is the meaning of tantalized?
A little bit, that's so wonderful, especially about personalities in this world. Very mundane personalities who may have a good singing voice or some music or acting quality or anything. We should see that in terms of there is a soul trap there. And how is his activity going? In what direction does his activity actually bring him? And awaken some compassion and knowledge and wisdom about that, and not be tantalized by these things. We can learn many things from different persons. That's not a problem. And some things that some people do may somehow indirectly remind us of our progress in spiritual life, and that's also nice. But we're not worshippers of the mundane. Was it you who was telling about that, the camel? Oh, no, no, you were there, but Madhusudana Maharaj was saying, the donkey is going to the camel's wedding. And then the donkey is engaged in singing the glories of the camel. Oh, your eyes are so beautiful. Your lips are so beautiful. And you look so dignified. And the monkeys and the donkeys, making this noise. We don't want to be like that. We don't want to be a donkey praising the camels of this world. Because really, it is very sad when you think of a person's life, especially famous people who are engaged in so many, generally, famous rich persons tend to become miserably degraded, hellishly degraded. They get caught in that, it's really almost, if we hear about that, we think, oh, very heavy. And whatever is nice and reminds us of Krishna in some way, then of course we'll notice that as well. So now page 85, this is the illumination. Oh, yeah, it's time.
Can I ask you a question about the third verse?
Yeah.
All those qualities, do they depend on our efforts?
Sorry, what did you say?
These 6 qualities,
Uh-huh.
are they up to us to build them? Or is that grace?
Always there's grace, but our endeavor must be there. We must make an endeavor, for sure. But we're always in a prayerful mood and a mood of surrender. Because we will remember that the Lord is the cause of all causes. And He is sending many, many kinds of situations to show our quality, to show us our quality. And with the guidance of these verses, we can also start noticing, oh yeah, this is Jnana Sangha or Lolium, or this is Prajalpa or Niyamagraha. I'm seeing this in me. And we're looking for good guidance. And we're always in a prayerful mood that the Lord is showing me many, many things, actually. It's really quite astounding how very beautiful the environment is. Always giving us so many lessons. And we need to bow down to those lessons. Otherwise, we don't understand them. But the Lord can show us. We just have to listen by bowing down, saying, yes, this, I don't like this. This is disturbing me. But you have sent this. I cannot experience anything unless you want me to. You are Rishikesh. So I bow down. What shall I learn from this? Or you don't even have to ask the question. Just, my Lord, this is your grace. You want me to see this. You want me to hear this. You want me to experience these things. This is your grace, my Lord. And then somehow or other the Lord can show how we're looking at things completely wrong. And this is due to something in my own fault. And my faults are my own fault. They're not random. They're not just some glitch of nature that's come in some way that is so unfair. No, I've completely created this problem for myself. But the Lord He doesn't care. Right now, your only prayaschitta, your only atonement, is to take my mercy and become freed from your own jail cell that you built yourself. It's a very wonderful thing. So we're trying to cultivate these things, but always bowing down to the flow of the magnanimous environment, which is trying to help me. And having a proper relationship with the environment, not as an exploiter, but as a student. That makes the environment Maya or Krishna.
As a student, what does that mean?
As a student.
As a student.
We're trying to learn from the environment rather than to exploit the environment. When we try to exploit, immediately what we have is matter. Matter means illusion. Means I'm not seeing things properly. And as soon as we change our mood, that, my Lord, you are bringing this to me, whatever it is. Maybe it's pleasant, maybe it's unpleasant. I don't know, whatever it is you want me to see or know or feel, that is your grace. So we are we are cultivating these things and trying to remember them with utsaha, all these things that we're learning, and my enthusiasm, all these different things. And at the same time, in the mood of surrender. Surrender is essential. To try to surrender to Krishna without surrender is ridiculous. We talk about it, but we have to do it.
So if we're facing an undesirous situation with our environment, if we try to practice Saranagati, we'll be taking already the position of a student.
We will see the environment as a as a teacher. You will see the environment is teaching me. It's come as, and I am a student of that environment, and we will begin to worship the environment. Guru Maharaj said, you will see all around you, you will see something which you will show great reverence for. You will feel reverence toward everything. Everything is coming as a teacher, but that association has to be proper. That association is not Janasanga, for example. We're not there to associate with the mundane. We're associating with the influence of the divine. We're not exploiting. We want to change that relationship to one of a student, and gradually a very loving student. And we will go to a different atmosphere. It's not the same atmosphere as those who are, as we are when we're in an exploiting mood. The atmosphere is fully different. The exploiting atmosphere is painful. It seems like enjoyment, but it's actually the enjoyment of a fool. It's so painful. And we're never at home. We're never surrounded by sweetness. We're in competition and envy and anger and frustration and greed and all these things. They're really painful emotions, actually. And yet we're thinking, oh yeah, I got this. And it's ridiculous. But we need to experience that higher atmosphere gradually through Sharanagati. And so many times I've heard arguments against this, and it's unbelievable. We're going to practice Krishna consciousness without surrendering to Krishna. How in the world? What does that even mean? It's not possible. It's just going to be a bunch of kind of different activities. Maybe auspicious in the world. Maybe piety. Maybe will take us to the heavenly planets. Maybe offense. Guru Maharaj said this clearly. But it won't be divine. Sharanagati is the heartbeat of devotional practice. Then quickly, Guru Maharaj said, very quickly, your divine eyes will open. Gurudev says in that one lecture, I've been thinking about this a lot, this lecture is so lovely. He says, it was good, what happened was good, what is happening is good, what will happen is good. We must accept everything that is coming from our Lord. Gurudev says this. I want to quote that and put it under his picture here. It's so sweet. What was is good. What is good. What will be is good. We must accept everything coming from our Lord. It is really a beautiful talk, this talk, and I know I'm very much not organized. I should be bringing these talks and posting them. I don't even know how to do that. But anyway.
Very positive. Positivism, joy, and optimism.
Mm-hmm.
is so powerful, right?
Yes.
Especially in a world where everyone is negative.
Yeah, I'm not getting what I want. There's something wrong here. It's just horrible. It's like a prison that I built for myself, and then I'm complaining that I'm in prison.
Do you still remember in death? Like thinking, what if today I leave this body? Do you think that remembrance also helps to perpetuate the joy?
Yes. To what? Yes, I'm not sure.
Perpetuate the joy.
Perpetuate the joy. Well, I mean, it gives us impetus to take things very seriously. That's for sure. To take our practice seriously, and not like, well, you know, I'll get this tomorrow. That baramai doya koro. This moment, bar means now. Give me your mercy. This is very nice, and it comes up in many of our prayers. It means right now, my Lord, I need your mercy. Not like, well, you know, sure, I'll take it one day. He's saying, right now, I need this. I need your mercy. It gives us, what was that word?
Enthusiasm?
Yeah, enthusiasm. Yeah, I guess the best one would be that utsahan. Enthusiasm, but it means some urgency, some feeling of urgency. I'm going to die today or tomorrow. Prahlad Maharaj says, old is just before you die. So anyone of any age can be old. So we don't want to just waste this human opportunity. Human life is really rare and very, very favorable for spiritual progress. Human life is really favorable. In the heavenly planets, one is forced by karma to enjoy so much material life.
And then they will go down again.
Yeah, and there's no, it's like overwhelming. You can't think properly. And in the lower planets, horrifying.
You cannot think properly either.
You can't think about anything but how miserable you are. But in the middle planets, in the human zone of consciousness, is very favorable for spiritual life.
Is it possible that one right now is taking the birth of a human and practice and serving the Vaishnavas? Is it possible that practitioner goes down to hell again?
It's not. So there's hell as an environment, and then there's hell as a full absorption. So, I mean, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, in heaven or in hell, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. But if I can remember you, then I'm happy. So this is what this is more the relevant idea. Can I remember the Lord in all circumstances? And we're practicing that. And that must be in the mood of surrender. But Srila Rupa Goswami is saying here in the 9th verse maybe, that the essence, or maybe, 9th verse, the essence of our practice is remembering the Lord in all circumstances. Let's read that. And that,
that's the 8th.
Maybe 8. So this is here it is. Yeah, number 8, you're right. Engage the tongue and the mind in the gradual process of complete glorification and constant remembrance of Krishna's names, forms, pastimes, and so forth, and reside in Braja. So if somebody is ostensibly in a hellish situation, he can still be residing in Braja, in his heart. And spend all your time as a follower of those who have deep attachment to Krishna. This is the essence of all instruction. So we got our work cut out for us.
There's a lot of work to do.
And that's exciting work. Jai Shri Guru Gaurachandra Jai Giri Raju Ki Jai. I'm beautiful every day. But Mahaprabhu, somehow or other, he appeared in such a beautiful form to attract our minds. Hari Hari Rama Krishna Rama Jai Shri Guru Gaurachandra Ki Jai Shri Gaurachandra Ki Jai Jai Shri Paramahamsa Paribhajakaacharya Astaterasa Shri Srimati Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Deva Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnu Paramahamsa Paribhajakaacharya Srimati Srila Bhakti Sundar Araka Sri Deva Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Lahari Das Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Caitanya Charitamrta Ki Jai. Tadiya Shakti Ki Jai. Shri Caitanya SCSMission Ki Jai. Kol Kartal Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Sapasha Shri Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Shri Naru Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Govina Shamakundra Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Sankushwami Prabhu Ki Jai. Kokal Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Samaveda Vaishnava Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gauramanandi.
Haribo.
Dandavat. Dandavat.